Hello everyone, my name's Alexander Espinoza and I'm your Junior Vice President.
And I'm Kendall, your Student Body Vice President.
This assembly has been a hallmark event at Westwood for many years.
We have celebrated many different cultures throughout these assemblies.
They allow us to see and remember the diversity and beauty in everyone's culture.
And while this may be virtual,
it doesn't take away how important this tradition is to everyone.
So let's get started.
First up for us, we have the national anthem sung by the Westwood Choir.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the balls bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now before we show you any of our new clips for this year's assembly, here are some of the great moments we had last year.
Now that you've seen what beautiful performances students gave us last year, get ready for some wonderful new additions.
First up is Westwood's K-pop dance club, GT.
GT is here to showcase and share Korean pop culture through Mamma Mia by the iconic girl group Kara. Hope you all enjoy. Thank you, GT, for such a great performance. Now, Kendall, what do we have next?
Well, the following book reading is by Westwood Senior IB student Elijah Little. Elijah is an enrolled member in the Navajo tribe and is also part of Zuni and Tohono O'odham.
Elijah inherits his Zuni heritage from his maternal grandfather, who was half Navajo and half Zuni. He inherits his Tohono O'odham heritage from his maternal grandmother, who was 3/4 Navajo and 1/4 Tohono O'odham. Both of their great-grandfathers were great tribal leaders.
His Tohono O'odham great-grandfather, Arthur J. Hubbard Sr., was the first American Indian Arizona State Senator and served for 12 years as a Navajo code talker instructor while being enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps.
His Zuni great-grandfather, Virgil Wayako, served under General Patton while in the Army and on the Zuni Tribal Council for over 16 years.
Elijah's younger brother, Camden, is a student at Westwood High School as well.
Elijah will be reading a little from his Zuni great-grandfather's biography, A Zuni's Life, a Pueblo Indian in Two Worlds.
Kashe, that is hello in Zuni. My name is Elijah Little. I'm a senior from Westwood High School, and I'm about to read to you is a book by my great-grandfather, Virgil Wayako Sr., A Zuni Life, a Pueblo in Two Worlds. Page 1. It snowed the night I was born, a soft fall that covered the muddy ground and will melt into the earth to awaken the seeds in the spring. You're frowning. You might hear the word snow and think of slippery streets, and you hear the word rain and think of council golf dates. It's not like the Zuni. Any other Zuni and Hopi will understand what I'm saying, maybe even a Navajo as well. You'll have to listen to my words. I want to tell you the story of my life, so it can be written down for young Zuni to read, but you have to listen. First, you have to understand about rain. Rain is brought to us by the Coco. You think of them as kachina, like the ones in the shops in Santa Fe. But kachina is not a Zuni word. We call them Coco. The Coco are our ancestors, even the first Coco. Back then, the world was soft, and the Zuni climbed out of the underworld and crossed the first stream. Some of our children turned into frogs. They swam all the way to the secret lake, Zuni Lake. They were lost to us, but they didn't die. They grew up to be the Coco and danced underwater on the bottom of the lake. It's like a dance hall down there. We Zuni believe we will become Coco when we die. Page 2. It's hard for them to hear for us, for their minds are filled with nothing but dancing. But when all the Zuni dance together, they shake the earth and the Coco can feel it, even in Zuni Lake. Then they bring us the clouds, and we know our loved ones, our fathers, our mothers, and even our children who had died have come to help us. The gift of rain they bring to us is like a blessing. Snow is like a promise. Do you understand when I say it snowed all throughout the night I was born? I mean, the Coco were aware of me. It was a blessing. They were saying, we know this one, this young Zuni. We will bring them rain. He will have plenty to eat. He will have a good... My boyhood came to an end in Zuni reckoning. Then I joined a Kiva group. All boys join Kiva groups at about the time when they enter puberty. There are 6 of these groups in Zuni. A Kiva group is a men's group. In the old days, the men would sit around the Kiva after supper and weave a talk, and from the noise of their houses' wives. Houses were owned by women, and men had no real claim to them. A Kiva's group house was a hangout where no women were allowed. By Zuni tradition, a boy of 12 joins the Kiva of the husband of his mother's midwife in a coming-of-age ceremony. He is led into the Kiva by a sponsor, a relative, who will stand beside him and hold him when the Coco lash with him with a yucca whip. Whipping is a ritual act of cleansing. It's never used for punishment in Zuni. It sure hurts, though, I remember. When the Coco leave after the initiation, men of villages crowd into the Kiva to congratulate the newly made men and ask them for whipping. In turn, that's considered lucky. a boy who has undergone the Kilo initiation ritual is about as pure as anyone can get. Denying this characteristic of childhood is not evil. Children don't know better when they do something wrong. A newly made man hasn't time to get into any trouble yet, and initiate starts out with a clean slate. It may sound strange that old men will ask boys with them in blessing. That's why we do it in Zuni. I hope you enjoyed this reading of my great-grandfather's book. He passed away the same year I was born, on February, that he looked forward so much to meeting me when I was born, June 3rd, 2003. But from reading his book and learning about all the stories from my relatives, I wished I met him. He sounded like a really cool and dope guy. Thank you.
What a beautiful story to share.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree, it was amazing. We also have one last clip before we gotta go.
Next up, we have Paola Ochoa Alvarado performing ballet folklorico.
Hi, my name's Paola Ochoa. I am a junior at Westwood, and I'm going to be dancing ballet folklorico. Ballet folklorico are traditional Mexican dances that emphasize folk culture with ballet characteristics.
Once again, thank you to all who participated. You did an amazing job.
Westwood prides itself on being rich with culture and diversity.
We hope you enjoyed this cultural assembly from a distance.